Alright, hello. I think this is working now. It's been a while since I last did a stream. So there were a few technical issues, but now I think it's working to all three platforms, which is nice. I might have some connection issues though, not sure. Also, my music volume control is apparently not working, but I guess that's fine. Yeah. Welcome back. It's been a while since the last stream, and there's a few reasons for that. One of them being I've just been really busy. The other one being that last time we got some transphobic weirdos in the chat, and that doesn't bother me per se. I have pretty thick skin, but the thing is, I don't want to expose my viewers to that, so I figured I would have to improve my moderation tools. And I've done that, so hopefully that doesn't happen again, but if it does, I'm better equipped this time. Okay, but let's get to tonight's topic. So, I was thinking I would like to do some kind of quick demo of how to at least get started writing a VST3 or CLAP audio plugin. And specifically, I want to do this with the NIH plug library for Rust. And I've played around with it a bit before, but it's been a while, so it's sort of gonna be new to me as well. Okay, so let's get started. What I want to write is a distortion plugin. There's a couple of nice distortion algorithms that I keep using in Super Collider and Tidal Cycles, and sometimes I miss those when working in a DAW. So I figured it would be nice to try to implement those in a plugin, or at least one of them to start with. So let's create a new project. What shall I call it? I'll call it Bull Grit for now. And yeah, this is gonna be a Rust project. And I believe I have a cargo set up. Yes, I do. So what is it? Cargo new. And it's gonna be a binary. Okay, I guess we gotta use cargo init if it's an existing directory. So by running that, we get a cargo.toml and a source folder with a main.rs. So, okay, but then I wanna actually have a look at NIH plug. So this is a library by Robert VDH, and if you're familiar with Juice or iPlug2, this is kind of similar, but and maybe a bit simpler even. API agnostic audio plugin framework written in Rust, as well as a small collection of plugins. So there's a few plugins that are kind of examples of how to use this library, and one of them I actually use a lot, the one called Diopser, but let's just see how to start working with this. So I guess the first thing we need... Wait, is this on crates? Oh, it's not. Okay. Well, let's look at one of the examples here. Okay, so this is just using it from a local path. I wonder if I can just drop this. It didn't seem like it was on cargo though. Yeah, I guess we need a version. What is the current version though? Oh, okay, so this really is not on crates. So I need to figure out how to bring in stuff from GitHub into cargo. Okay, so we can just give the repo URL. That's nice. For some reason my auto indentation isn't working here. Oh well. Oh, maybe we just can't do multi-line this way. Okay. No matching. Oh, just copy paste it and put the wrong URL. So we want this in here. Okay, that looks better. And it'll take a moment to compile all the dependencies. Now I wonder if in the meantime I can do something to fix my audio player. I changed the audio output type, so that might have broken it. Oh, but this is now read read-only because of Nix. Okay, whatever. Okay, that has compiled. Let's look at one of the examples. So, for example, in here we've got... Oh, that's the, like, real plugins, but I wanted to check the... gain one, because that's probably like the simplest possible one, almost. So we have source. Wait, this is actually a library. Interesting. Oh, yeah, I guess that makes sense, actually. Okay, so then... I'm just gonna rename this to lib.rs. In fact, I'm just gonna copy all of this in here. Then I think I need to update the cargo.toml as well. Okay, I don't know what parking lot is, but maybe we don't need that. Okay, let's have a look at this code here. Okay, parking lot is apparently where we're supposed to get mutex. Okay, maybe I'll just add the parking lot dependency, because I feel like we're gonna need some kind of state storage, which is what this appears to be for. There's a lot of stuff in here. Okay, let me rebuild so we get parking lot. Great. So, okay, it begins by defining a structure for the plugin, then that contains an arc containing the parameters for the plugin. And for the parameters, we use some kind of macro to do magic serialization stuff for whatever is in here. The parameters ID. Okay, so we're gonna have a parameter called gain. We can have sub-parameters. Okay, I don't know if Bitwig supports those. We can check, I guess. Array parameters, so I guess that is just doing stuff multiple times. Okay, so this will put a ID number at the end of each of these parameters. Sure. Then we implement default, so we have a default value for the parameters, and that's just basically wrapping gain params.default, which I'm assuming we get from the params macro, it probably does derive default for all of this stuff. Because I don't see... Oh no, here it is, right after the implementation. Okay, so here we get into parameter value mapping. So we have a float param, and I think I need to see if we can get some documentation for this library. Yep. Work in progress, sure. That's okay. So I just want to know what's in float param. So we can have an optional smoother. We can have... Right, the constructor takes the name. It takes a default value. And a range object, and what is in the range object? I guess we have different types of ranges: skewed, linear, symmetrical, skewed, reversed. And so this is mapping the value to, or this is getting the skew factor for like a gain parameter. So I guess here you specify these in decibels and then it computes this. I'm not sure what exactly the math is here for the skew factor, but I guess that's not important right now. Then we apply logarithmic smoothing. We give a unit, which presumably is just going to be displayed by the DAW. Gain to decibel. So this is string to value formatting, and then value to string and then string to value. So we can go both ways, and I guess that is applied when you're working in the DAW and maybe you type a value like on the keyboard into the field. Then I guess that's when this gets applied. Persistent fields can be initialized, but this initialization is only applied if there's not stored state, I guess. Okay. Let's look at this again. So do I now understand correctly that this is the only one that is persisted? But that's weird, because I would assume that the gain is also going to be persisted. Okay, well here's the plugin implementation. Here's where we make the name and everything. So let's put my plugin stuff here. URL. website, my email, version is taken from cargo package version. Nice. And here's where we can specify audio layouts. I think stereo is fine. And then we also have mono, I guess, as an alternative. MIDI input, we don't take any. Sample accurate automation, yeah, I think we want that. Sysax message, we don't use that, so I guess it's fine to keep this as like the unit type. Background tasks, don't care about that right now. And if we need more special initialization, then we implement initialize and or reset, and here is where the actual DSP happens. So the process method, so we iterate through the samples and then we get a smoothed gain value from here, and we just multiply each sample by that. Oh, right here we iterate over channels and then here over samples in each channel. And I guess we return process status normal at the end in case everything was normal. Deactivate, nothing to do there. Here's where I'm gonna add another instance of plugin information. I guess clap IDs are like these reverse domains. And then we need an ID for the VST3. Is that always 16 bytes? FUID is what the type is called, okay? Yeah, so it's called, so it's yes, a 16-byte thing. What shall I call it? I'm just gonna fill the rest of the bytes with X's, or maybe spaces. Yeah, that's nicer. And then at the end we have macros to export a clap and a VST3 plugin. Okay, so then how do we actually build the plugin? I mean, I can do cargo build, and that builds, but I don't think that creates like actual plugins for us. Yeah, we just get like dynamic libraries, or maybe static as well, but not like actual plugin things. So let's go back to the README here. We need to do this Xtask thing. Remember correctly, this is not gonna work right out of the box. Yeah. There's a README about this somewhere. Maybe in here. Yeah. Okay, so we need to add a new binary. Right, and then we need to add that to the dependencies. We put this in the main.rs here. And finally we create a cargo /config in here. And we put this alias in here. Now I think we should be able to do this. Oops, wrong command. This one. Go.toml. There we go. Also, I do now think the music is a bit loud and I need to fix the volume control on that. So I'm gonna do that while this builds. Going to my dot files, do a Darwin rebuild. TikTok told me disconnected, but I guess it's back, maybe. Right. Package ID specification did not match any packages. It would be nice to know where that error comes from, but there appears to be no information on that. Which is a little strange. Also, I'm gonna do this as a compile buffer because that's easier to deal with. Anyway, let's check for now if I can fix the volume thing. Okay, just a second. And I think I need to restart MPD. It's not coming back up. Sorry for the diversion here, but I do need this to work because the volume is a bit too much. Okay, let's see here. So what it does is call this with no daemon. Okay, it's not built with the AO output. Right, so then this is not gonna work. You know what, I'll just use another audio player for now. But then I do need to recreate my playlist, so just a second. Okay, and we were about halfway into it. So now I can control volume. And I'll just add the rest of the playlist. Alright. And we can get back to what I was doing. So, package ID specification gain did not match any packages, but where exactly does that come from? Oh, it comes from here, because yeah, my plugin is not called Gain. I guess we have to recompile everything because I'm building in release mode now. Takes a little while. Okay, and it finished. Amazing. So now we have in release what do we have? Oh, it's under here. Okay, we have a collab and a VST3 plugin. So those are right there. Now, if I go into Bitwig, open a new project, I need to tell it to use this folder in locations. So that goes in there. Oh, what? No. Apparently that actually moved the folder. That's bizarre. I've never seen that before. Let's just do it from here then. Okay, that's in my paths. And now we can see my grid plugin here. You might not see this because it's a very small font size, but there is both a clap and a VST version of it. I wonder if I can turn up the Bitwig font size for the stream. You'd think that would be under user interface, but I don't see anything like that. Oh, scaling. Turn off auto. Okay, this is really huge now and kind of difficult to work with, but it'll do. Hopefully it's a bit easier to see on stream. But yeah, the point is that we now have... Oh, actually, it reminds me that I can actually go into accessibility preferences and use zooming doesn't seem to work though. Oh no, I had it the wrong way around, so... Okay, I can do that to help with the visibility. Okay, and then apparently I can't easily scroll the view. Okay, that's cool, but... it's actually not great because I need those keys for other things. Okay, so that's picture-in-picture zoom, not what I wanted. Okay, maybe I'll just use this then. So now, as you can see, the plugin does indeed load in Bitwig, and we get all these parameters. This seems to map nicely to a decibel range of -30 to 30, and I guess we can type 2 and it'll do the magic conversion for us. Nice. Okay, let's see that it actually works. Put some kind of synth on here. Polymer. Oh, this apparently went on the master. That was not what I wanted. Okay, we can hear that. Now the problem with this music player is that I don't have a keyboard shortcut for it. Okay, anyway, now we have our synth playing through this, and indeed it does adjust the gain. How cool is that? And it doesn't look like Bitwig does anything with like the nested parameters, so I don't think we need to care about that. And these just don't do anything, but they are there. Okay, let's get to doing something more interesting than gain. Right, so for my plugin, I actually don't want anything here to be called gain. Let's just do a search and replace for capital G gain and call that Pullgrit instead. Nice. Then let's see here. So the first parameter, because I'm thinking this will be able to select between different algorithms. And to do that, there needs to be some kind of control to do the selection, you know? Let's see what we have in NIH plug. Where was the documentation here? Do we have an int param? Yes, we do. Actually, what kind of parameters do we have in general? We have booleans, floats, and integers, okay. So, I'm gonna start by getting rid of all this stuff that we're not using. So the random data, the subparams, and the array params. Don't need this comment either, don't need these structs. And this actually is still called gain because it is now a gain. But yeah, so for the first parameter I want an int param. And the constructor for that looks very similar. So we have the name, we have the default, and the range. Although int range, I guess, is going to be different. Linear or reversed, okay. We'll call this algorithm. And that goes here. That's going to be the name. Default here is going to be 0. For now, let's say we have a total of 3 different algorithms. And that is going to be int range, linear. We don't have a factor this time, just min and max. I don't think we have a smoother either. We don't have a unit. So here, eventually, I think I want to do like a conversion between the number and the algorithm name, but let's see. I could maybe do just one direction for now. Okay, hold on. So we have formators. These are the ones I want to look at, for example the node formatter. I'm going to call this V2S algorithm formatter. And it needs to be a function in arc apparently, so this copy paste just took care of that. We're gonna have a names array. Algorithm 0, that can be, I'm thinking I want that to be clip, because that's like the simplest distortion algorithm. Then the other one is gonna be super dirt shape, so that gives you a hint as to what I'm gonna implement next. The third one I was thinking could be Barry's Satan Maximizer, another favorite algorithm of mine. So then what we want to do is check if value is greater than 0 or oh, hello Andy. Never seen someone do this before. Is this gonna be a plugin strictly for the Arc browser? No, this is not related to the Arc browser. Arc is just something in Rust, so that's an automatic reference counter. So I'm making a audio plugin which is gonna work in many different digital audio workstations. In my case I'm using Bitwig, and the plugin gets exported as both a clap plugin and a VST3 plugin, so those are the plugin formats we have access to. The other check here, this is supposed to be and names. Is it Len or what is it? So cool, thank you. But we're just getting started here. We have a basic gain plugin going, but I intend to implement some distortion algorithms. In this case, this can just be question marks. I think I can do that. No, I can't. What's wrong here? I guess I can open fly check here on the side. Actually, this is the one I wanted. Never messed with Rust, been a C# guy for a long time, but definitely want to branch out more, so this is cool to watch. Thanks for streaming while you do this. yeah, thank you for joining. It's fun. I've done quite a bit of Rust, but not so much Rust audio plugin development, so it's slightly new territory. Hello, Orthorhombic Jazz. Yo, Miranda, is that your music in the background? Yes, it is. This is from my Happy Jams EP, which you can find on my Bandcamp. That's bulu.bandcamp.com. This is the final track, Sweetings. And now I actually need to extend my playlist here. Yeah, I actually only play my own music on stream because that's the easiest when it comes to copyright stuff. And also, of course, I make music, so why not promote my music? Dope, will check it out. Really liked your tunes when I came across them. Thank you. I actually have a new code-based EP in the works. It's pretty much finished, but the one thing I haven't done is decide on a name, and that's like blocking me at the moment. So I'll need to do that. Oh yeah, I need to probably just take a reference to name to return it. Is that enough? No, there's still something weird here. So yeah, this needs to be a U size. And that conversion should be fine now that I've done this check here. What's this? Alright, I can't compare these unless I also cast this to U size. Mismatched types. Oh, okay. I just maybe need to do... I mean, I could just clone this to get like an... So the error here is an ownership issue. This needs to return a string, but I was returning a reference to a string, and that's a different thing. But the format is fine. I like to do that because now if I want to do something else in the like adjust the format, then I can just tweak it here instead of changing the whole function call. Anyway, do I have another error? Yes, I do. Oh yeah, I need to put a comma here, I suppose. Or I guess I'll put it after all of this. Then we don't have these parameters anymore. Okay, and we don't have anything called a gain anymore. Let's just comment out the actual processing here for a moment. Or arguments for this function are incorrect because it's supposed to be int param, not float param. And we still have the wrong formatter. V2S algorithm formatter is what I want to use here. Okay, that's still not correct. Oh yeah, I need to actually call that. Now it looks like we don't have errors anymore. Let me just clean up the warnings here because we're not using that. I'm just gonna multiply for now so we get rid of the annoying warnings. Okay. With that, we can rebuild the plugin. And I think I have to reactivate. And now we can see here that I can, in fact, let me zoom in. I can switch between these three algorithms and it'll nicely show this name here. This is probably not gonna work. Yeah, but I'm not gonna worry about that now. That's just some string comparison logic. And probably ideally this should be some kind of enum with the conversion kind of bidirectional coming from the enum. So I think I want to define, well, it's not going to be here, it's going to be in BullGrid. So I'm gonna add an implementation for it. Process clip. And we want the signature to be the same as this one. So it'll take a buffer, auxiliary something something, context something something. And then it will return a process status. Actually, I might as well copy all of this. No, wait, we cannot do this. Because the user might be automating the algorithm parameter, and then that could change on a sample by sample basis. So then process clip should actually be something like sample f32, and I don't know if we need this other stuff here, not really. Maybe I'll just call it clip. So the way this is gonna work is if sample, Or rather, we can just return, I believe, the minimum. Let's start with the maximum of -1 and the sample, and then the minimum of that and +1. So that should clip it to our range. Oh wait, I already have a sample in there because it's a method. We need to get rid of the semicolon to return this value. Okay, and now we get the algorithm. Oh yeah, this really should be an enum actually, but whatever. This is prototyping. I'm not gonna worry about correct code structure too much for the moment. So algorithm is gonna be self.params.algorithm. And actually now I need to know if we have an int param, then how do we get the value? Well, logically enough, it's a value method. So dot value, and that takes care of that. Then no wait, but can this actually change? On a sample by sample basis. I don't know. Because we don't have the smoother, so then we don't have also this next function. Yeah, this just returns the integer, so there's no way to like advance any kind of state on that. Unless the definition of this actually does something magical. So this is calling something called load. This doesn't apply to int values, does it? Okay, so I think that we actually just do this outside of the loop here, and then we have the algorithm in theory. going back and forth here. Let's pretend we have it on a sample by sample basis, and then when we go through the hold on. So actually this is like a frame, I think, and then this contains, yeah, the hold on, there's spam on one of the streaming sites. I'm gonna try to remove that from that side as well, but I don't actually know how the moderation here works. Because I was talking earlier that I improved my moderation tools, so that applies to the chat overlay, which you can see on all of the platforms, but it does not apply to the chats on the actual streaming platforms. And I'm just realizing I have no idea how to remove chat messages on the Purple website. Like, you would think there's some kind of delete button next to the message, but that does not appear to be the case. There's reply, there's pin this message, but there's no delete. Okay, let's Google that, or rather quant that. Okay, so in the settings, I gotta go to show mod icons, and then I can do that. Oh my god. Okay, back on track. I learned something. So, we have our algorithm here. Now, I'm just gonna do a match algorithm. We match against 0. So something like this. Here I think we need to dereference. Okay, so if we have algorithm number 0, then we apply clip, otherwise we don't do anything. Okay, I guess we can quickly try whether that works at all. And to see that, let's add a scope here. So now, because we don't have any settings on this, or like any other parameters aside from the clip, there's no gain or like driver, whatever you want to call it. It's only gonna clip if the waveform actually goes up to unity. So let's do this. Actually, I'm gonna show off some nice Bitwig stuff here for a second. I'm gonna group these and because I want to do something where it allows me to turn up the output gain of the synth and then feed that into the plugin, and finally turn down the output gain by the same amount. And let's call this drive, for example, because that makes it easier to try this out without having to blow up your ears. So what's a good range here? Let's say 18 decibels. So now what I'm doing here is setting my drive macro here, so that maps to the gain here before the plugin, and then I'm gonna map it also to the gain after the plugin, but in the other direction. Now I don't know if this is exactly... yeah, it's not, so let's do that manually. Okay, so now it should do what I wanted. Yep. I'm gonna collapse a bunch of this stuff here. So we have space to see the scope. And actually, maybe I'll set the waveform here to a sine wave. Distorted, I think we're clipping at the output, maybe. That might be because... oh, it was because there was a sub-oscillator on that, okay. But there is something else going on too. Okay, you know what, I'm not gonna use a polymer for this, I'm just gonna use a polygrid, which is much easier to understand, at least for me. Okay, that's a pure sine wave for sure. And now, if I turn up the drive, nothing happens because I don't have the plugin enabled. But now we can see the clipping taking effect. So that's our very first distortion, the hard clip. Very simple algorithm, you just limit the maximum and minimum value of the amplitude, and this is what it looks like. Okay, let's do something more interesting, and that is gonna be SuperDirt shape. So here the algorithm is a bit more complicated, but not by much. So let's go into SuperDirt code, which I have in here somewhere. Here it is. So let's just copy this. This is still a fairly simple algorithm in that it's stateless. So, you know, you can just do it on a sample by sample basis and not have to keep track of previous values. So let's copy paste that in here and translate this to Rust. Right, and now here I think we need to access, well, first of all we need to have something called shape. And I wonder, do I want to have separate controls for each algorithm, or should they share a control called drive, for example? I think I do want to have separate ones because for example, Barry's Satan Maximizer, which is one of the algorithms that I want to implement, it actually has two controls. So then it kind of makes sense for those to be separate, at least from everything else. And if I'm separating those, then why not separate the rest as well? So the more I think about this, the more this is turning into a plugin that just contains 3 different plugins. So then the question arises, should it actually be 3 separate plugins? But then again, it is common for distortion plugins to contain multiple algorithms. For example, I think I have Trash 2. Well, I'm not sure actually if this one has multiple algorithms or if it's just like a pipeline of multiple algorithms. Well, for sure the shaping section has some options for different ways to do things. Maybe a better example is my other favorite distortion plugin, which is Scream 4 in Reason. So here we do have a variety of different algorithms, but then they do share two controls. So does it then make sense for my plugin to maybe also have two controls and then some of the algorithms just don't use the other one? I don't know. Tricky choices. Oops, wrong one. I wanted to delete the Reason rec. For now, I'm just gonna have one parameter. And I'm gonna call it where is it? Oh, up there. I guess I'll just call it drive for now. And this is gonna be a float param. And that's gonna be something similar to this, so it's gonna be an int param, no, a float param. Drive, float range, linear is fine, it'll go from 0 to 1. Do we need anything else on the float range? No, that's also just min and max. Don't need any special value formatting, I don't think. Okay, so with that, shape shall be the value of that parameter. Like so. Then we avoid division by 0 by making sure that shape cannot go quite to 0, but to no, that shape cannot go quite to 1, but to 1 minus 4 to 4e minus 10, so that's 4. What is it? 0.00001? Maybe got the number of zeros wrong there, but something like that. Optional gain compensation, that's not enabled in SuperDirt, so I'm not gonna do it either. This is just the same. We don't need to assign anything called signal, we can just return this, and this is going to be sample rather than signal. Is that it? Okay, we need to do 1.0 and also probably call abs as a method. Let's make shape mutable. Okay, that looks correct. Then we need to actually use that. If we have algorithm number 1. Hello, Giovanni Curisofi. I see cargo. I enter the chat. Nice. Yeah, we're doing audio development in cargo. Google user says, have you heard of Sooth 2? I have heard of it. I think it's like a dynamic EQ type of thing, but I don't really use it. Okay, I think this should work, so let's rebuild. That was quick. Let's reload this. And now we should have 2 parameters here. Yes, indeed. And the drive is a float, just like one might expect. And the values are not the prettiest. We could do something to show it in a nicer way, like limit the number of decimals or something. But it doesn't matter really. Oh, also, I wanted to apply drive also to sample. So let's take this. Here I'm just gonna call it drive. Had to wake up in like 3 hours, can't stay, but happy coding session, girl. Thank you. Yeah, better get some sleep. 3 hours is a pretty rough night's sleep, although I do that also way too often. I'm looking at something like 7 hours at the moment if I went to sleep right now, but I'm not doing that, so gonna rack up a little bit of sleep debt, as we call it in Finnish. Sample times drive. Yeah. No. We need to add 1 here because drive goes from 0 to 1. So if we have drive 0 and we didn't do this addition, then it would just multiply sample by 0 and we would have silence, and that's not what we want from a distortion plugin. Okay. And reload that. And let's listen again. So now with the clip, if I turn up the drive, yep, that's a clip. Then Super Dirt shape sounds normal at drive 0. So this, as we can see, is some kind of soft clipper. It's maybe not super interesting on this sine wave, so let's do something else here. For example, let's get Oh wait, this is not where I want to get this from. Yeah, I really like to use shape with drum breaks. My god, what are all these windows? Here we are. Let's find something nice. Okay, Buena Vista's kickback. And this already appears to be very close to the right tempo, but not quite. Let's do some editing here. So if we go into stretch, or rather, I guess I just wanna... Okay, that doesn't work, so I need to do it from here. Wait, why isn't it working? Oh, I still have the wrong mode. There we go. Okay, that's close enough. So let's try some distortion on that. Starting with actually, let me turn up the gain here. Wait, why doesn't that work? Oh, I think I need to make this an audio track. So now I hear nothing. And it's because all of this is now in an instrument layer. Alright, I have the channel volume very low. Well, maybe it can be like that. Okay, let's listen to the distortion. That was the whole point of this. So, a clipper is a clip. Oh no, sorry, this is the super dirt shape. Clipper. I think I need to turn this up. Now that's crunchy. However, it does seem like a drive value of 1 still breaks something, despite. I wonder why that is. I wonder if this is getting truncated somewhere, but I don't see why it would. Because it should be a float 32 all the way through. Let's try a smaller amount of decimals here. I don't know, 8 to start with. Okay, 8 seems to be fine. What about 9? Yeah, 9 is also not good. Alright. Let's keep it at 8 then. I do need to figure out why that happens sometime, but not right now. All right. Then the question is, can we still also do Barry's Satan Maximizer? I don't have the algorithm for that here. Or rather, I have a Super Collider implementation of it, but it relies on, I think, Super Collider's built-in Compander, Eugen, and I don't have access to that here, of course. Okay, so it seems like it was part of something like this. Where is the source code though? because it's surely not in the XML. Is it all in the util directory? That doesn't make sense though. Okay, maybe we have to look at the plugin XML. What is the source code embedded in here? Oh wow, that's for sure a way to write code. Alright, I guess we'll just take this C code and start working with it. So we need some data for this. And okay, now I need to go back to the gain source code to see how the data storage was done. No, wait, because this is not a parameter, this is just like state of the plugin. What I could do is... Wait, I thought I had an NIH block also installed. Or like the source repo cloned. Guess not. Okay, let me do that, so I can more easily browse the source. CD code, git clone. That. So in here we have plugins? No. Where is the gain plugin? Plugins examples, okay. So actually the gain one is maybe not that interesting. Let's look at sine, because that one needs to keep some state. Okay, so they just put it in here, which is what I was thinking of doing. So as a regular member of the plugin struct. Okay, so it's defaulted to 1, but then it's set in initialize, which makes sense. So let's do that. Here we start off with... Do we need the sample rate for this one? Probably. Okay, they store it as an F32. Sure, why not? BSM-env is gonna be also a float. Then I wonder if I have space to put these side by side instead. Maybe I do. Oh yeah, and we don't actually have initialize, so let's just straight up copy that from here. And then also reset. Might need that one as well. But nothing in there yet. Right, so initialize, all we do is set the sample rate. Get rid of that comment. Okay. Then we had BSM-env. And I need to check how all of this is initialized in this code. I'm just gonna copy this stuff as well. Actually, why not the whole thing? There we go. Then let's look at plugins which might allocate some kind of buffer. Wish I knew what was happening. Well, we're building a distortion plugin. So So I can quickly show what we have right now here in Bitwig. It's called Bulu Grid. And it's got two algorithms right now, a basic hard clip as well as this super dirt shape algorithm. And right now I'm working on the third one, which is called Barry's Satan Maximizer. So that's what's happening. Sorry I meant with the code, like I can't code, but I like watching it happen. I wish I just understood it more. Right, well, yeah. That does take some practice. But yeah, some plugin that allocates buffer, and here's something that does a short time Fourier transform, so presumably it will have some kind of buffer. Okay, yeah, so they just use a vec. And I mean, why wouldn't they? So I'm gonna call this BSM buffer. And that's just gonna be floats. I'm gonna comment out the C code because we are not working in C and this is giving me errors. So just make it like that. And for now, this can just return sample. And eventually, we'll need to use our algorithm function here. Oh, also I need to actually return a float here. Okay, then we need to initialize these fields that I just declared. So we're gonna have BSMenv starts off as 0.0 as it does here. Oh, this needs to be a colon actually. Also we need the sample rate, which I'm gonna default to 1. Then we had, wait, there's also something called buffer position. Interesting, okay. Also, I'm currently putting this in the wrong place. It does not go here because it's not, or these are not parameters. Didn't I have default for this? Maybe it does that automatically. Oh no, wait. That's one level deeper. No, actually, it is the right place. I'm confused because this struct comes before the implementations for it. Here is where I want it. Okay. It's gonna be a U size because I think we're just indexing into this buffer with that. So yes, we do put BSM-env in here, defaulting to 0, BSM buffer, I guess that can be an empty vec, because we need to allocate it during initialization anyway. Buffer position is going to be 0. One sample rate default to 1. Cool. I wonder if I'm still streaming because it looks like YouTube is frozen. As does Twitch. If you can hear this on YouTube or Twitch, please comment something so I know it's working. Anyhow. YouTube is okay. Alright, that's good. Maybe I just need to refresh my things here. Okay, yeah, that fixes it for me as well. Nice. Yeah, so now that we have defaults for those parameters, I do also want to set them in initialize. So we got sample rate, we got BSM-env, which I guess we initialize to 0, BSM buffer. That should probably be our buffer size, which I assume is gonna be in buffer config, but I don't know what's in a buffer config, so let's have a look. Minimum and maximum buffer size. That's interesting. Does that mean that we might get varying sizes of buffers? That doesn't make sense to me. Okay, let's have a look at how one of the other plugins handles this. This one, I guess, doesn't. Understand this. So they have a struct voice that apparently contains the buffer. But I guess this is also not using like the block size of the plugin. Wait, but neither does the original C code. Okay, so actually we can just do buffer size 16 apparently. So let's grab these constants. Okay, that makes things easier, because then we don't actually need to even initialize or allocate in the initializer. We can just do, let's have a look at the documentation for Vec, because I forget the API. Because I feel like there is one that's like a method that constructs one that's just like a value repeated n times. Oh, this one. So let me name this after the algorithm. Okay, and there we have the buffer. Then if we go back to initialize, is there something like seem to be having some network issues, but don't know how that looks on the viewer side. Right, the thing here is actually that I don't think this needs to be a vec because it's always a static size and it's a pretty small size too. So let's change that to an array. Oh, good night, Marco Delestel. Oh, there's a fill method. Okay, I think that's the one I want. Okay, that looks fine. Hold on. Yeah. Okay, and then we just need to set the buffer position in initialize. So that's just equals 0. And then I think reset here is the same as activate in the original C code. Yeah, more or less, but why couldn't I simply call reset here, since this is pretty much the same? Yeah, that's quite nice. Okay, and then we are ready to do process, I suppose. And yeah, for this algorithm we have two parameters, so it's end of time and knee point. And actually, this is the point where we need more parameters for the plugin. So the single drive parameter is not enough. And now I'm thinking, should I actually split also the clip and super dirt shape? I'm just gonna do this in a quick and dirty way. So we're gonna do end of time, end of time and knee. And now those of course need to be defaulted as well. So it's gonna be something similar to the drive. Right, and here I guess we want to work with decibels. Let's go back to the gain plugin, because there we had a decibel control. This one add some new lines here so I can more easily navigate by paragraph. So something like this. And now if we look at the controls in the original, this goes from -90 to 0. Let's see how this is used. Okay, so they convert it to something from decibels. I'm gonna assume that's conversion to like a linear range. Most likely it is. So then I guess we can probably keep this float param code pretty much like this, because this also does conversion to the linear unipolar range. We just need to adjust the range. So this goes from -90 to 0. And it looks like here we also need to do this. Logarithmic smoothing, let's keep that in place. And I'm gonna get rid of these comments because they are very verbose. Alright. So that's the knee. Then we have envelope decay time apparently in samples. That's kind of interesting because that makes this plugin sample rate dependent, which I'm trying to avoid. So we'll have to do this in another way. Specifically, okay, first of all, let's calculate what these times actually are. So 2 samples at at 44.1k. Oh, I need to have my post buffer visible. So that's what is that, like fraction of a millisecond? Yeah, something like this. Okay, let's say that is our minimum, then the maximum was 30. Let's round up to 7. So something like this. I'm not sure if this is actually gonna work with the way the algorithm is defined, but does look like this in the original code. It's also working with floats, so maybe that's fine. So here actually I'm curious, what is this in Super Collider? Oh, this is my own version. There's one on sccode.org, which I think was a bit different. Oh yeah, they go from... Let's use this range, it's a bit neater, I suppose. Does it make sense for this to be a linear range though? It kinda looks like it doesn't. But we do have this whole skew system. But I don't know how it works. Oh well, maybe it can be linear for now and we'll worry about that later. So, we have our parameters defined. Let's close these frames, or windows rather. Now, I think in this case we actually need the whole process function. Yeah, it looks like it, so I'm gonna restructure this thing a bit. This is now gonna work on a per buffer basis rather than per sample. We're gonna take the match here, but it's gonna be a bit different now. We want to get a result from it, but we are gonna do something like clip process, and I guess for now we can just pass the buffer into it. Okay, then it goes like this, buffer here as well. If we don't have a recognized algorithm, then we just don't do anything. And then this stuff. Let's actually return process status normal from here. because I'm gonna make all the process functions return a process status. That just makes more sense to me. Okay, then we redefine this as clip process. And we return, what is it called? Process status, of course. Like so. Then we put the loop in here. So we now get a buffer rather than a sample. Yeah, so we loop through that. We get the drive value. I'm gonna call this val. Process status normal. Okay. And let's do the same for SuperDirt shape. So now it's like this, and this becomes val. And also we need to assign this to sample. Okay, then this function disappears. And finally we get to Barry Satan Maximizer again. Let's return process status normal. Okay, now we don't have any actual errors. So now we can begin looking at this code. Okay, we have a delay. Let's make that a U size as well. because it cannot be negative. Then we have... Oh, this is actually not the way to declare things in Rust. Okay, well the first thing we assign is actually the envelope time. I think it goes like this. No. There we go. Then what do we have? We have a check if nth time is less than 2. Right, and that's after the conversion to samples, so we need to do that first. And the way to do that is simply to multiply by the sample rate. Let's make that mutable, I suppose. Otherwise we can't do this. No, but we don't need to, because what this is actually just a min operation. No, sorry, a max, of course. We need to parenthesize this whole bit. So these go here. I guess we don't need that one. This one is implemented. Let ni be self params vsm ni dot value, and this is already converted, so we don't need to do this. Then delay shall be half of nth time rounded. NVTR shall be the reciprocal of nth time. Okay. Then we have something called sample count. I wonder where that comes from. That's gotta be the number of samples. Okay, so basically what's happening here is the loop. Do we have anything about channels here? Apparently not. Okay, so let's grab this whole thing. And start looping in there. Wait, so how is... Alright, okay, so env here is actually self.env. And that's gonna be if I'm gonna call this val again, the input sample, that is. Or maybe I'll call it input. So if the absolute value of input is greater than self.env, then we set env to... Wait, this is another maximum operation, isn't it? No, not quite. Okay. So then this is input dot abs else. It is input.abs multiplied by env.tr plus self.env multiplied by one minus env.tr. Oh, and this is again bsm.env. Alright. Then we have env.sc equals if self.env is less than me. This is the reciprocal of me, else it's gonna be the reciprocal of env. And you'll notice I'm not really paying attention to what this code actually means. I'm just translating from C. This should be self.env, of course, and that's actually not what it is, but it is bsm.env. And now we don't have env.sc because we did not declare that, and I think the same goes for ni. No, ni is here, right? Okay, so actually everything except env.sc is declared. But does this need to be declared outside of the loop? No, I don't think so. Does not look like it. Okay, so then we just say let here. Then what we do is we set the value in the buffer at the buffer position to the input. and we set the output to the value in the buffer at the index buffer pass or position minus delay bitwise ANDed with the buffer mask multiplied by self, no, with NVSC. And that's BSM buffer position. What's up here? Yeah, this needs to be F32. Wait, no, what? What was delay actually? Oh, delay is an integer, okay. Alright. Okay, so pause here was just for the loop, so we don't actually need it. Okay, is that it? It might be. Oh, not quite. We still need to set the buffer position to the buffer position +1 ANDed by BSM buffer mask. I think what this is doing is just modulo. Modulo the size of this buffer. Because the buffer mask is 15, so that's gonna be all ones except for the most significant byte or bit. Yeah. So I mean, it might be more readable to not do it this way, but let's keep it in there for now. Okay, I think with that, we might be ready to try out Barry Satan Maximizer. Reload. Oh. Could not load plugin. So something has gone wrong there. Interesting. Is it something here now? if I just comment this out and rebuild, no, it's something else. Do we even get to the process part? No. It's bizarre. I do wonder if something has gone wrong with Bitwig. Let me restart. Okay, no. Is it something here? Here. Nope. If I comment this out altogether. Even that does not help. Is it then something in the default implementation? What? Still not working. What else did I even change? far as I can tell, this is now pretty much the same as it was. Or rather, this is much simpler than it was. Oh yeah, these. I'll comment those out as well. Okay, we are back. So, one of these parameters appears to be a problem. So, of course, let's just go one by one. And there is probably a better way to debug this, but setting up debuggers is always a pain in the ass, so I don't want to spend my time tonight doing that. Okay. Well, here's maybe an issue. The default value is not in the range of the minimum and maximum. So... let's see if it fails just because of that. I think it might be that. Try that again. Okay, that is not the issue. Is it related to the values at all? Like, what if we have regular range like this? Oh. It is somehow related to that. Oh, wait. The minimum is larger than the maximum. Could that be it? Right, I think that was it. Which makes sense. I mean, if you have minimum and maximum, then those mean things. Okay, then let's start uncommenting more code. And rebuild. Yep, still starts up just fine, but this is still commented, so we need to uncomment that to actually have our Barry Satan maximizer working. Okay, let's give it a try. Does the old stuff work? Sure does. So that's another extremely crunchy algorithm. And it does seem to work. So then I maybe want to do one final thing, which is to actually split my parameters up. And this could now actually become a decibel-based control, but whatever. And I suppose this would be a good place to use those nested parameters, but I don't feel like defining all those structs, so whatever. Then we have the superdirt shape, shape, which is gonna be a different parameter. Okay, and then here we just need to actually use the correct name. Clip drive, and here is DS shape. And I think we're done. So now to test that, if we're on clip, then we can turn it up. But if we're in super dirt shape, then this does nothing. Okay. And they are separated. Still thinking about whether it would make sense to somehow be able to chain these instead of just selecting the algorithm. I don't know, maybe this is fine. So, this is a whole plugin, and I guess it's time to put my code in Git. And I might as well put this on GitHub. Although there is licensing to think about. NIH plug is ISC. What is the collection here? GPL3. Okay, I think that means I'm gonna use GPL3 as well. What else was there? Super Dirt. I think Super Dirt might be GPL as well. Yeah. Okay, let's go with GPL3. I just used that for another project, so just gonna copy paste it here. Then maybe a little readme. Oh, this should be actually readme.md, not txt. Oh, hello, Arawaxon says I'm interested in the code or in the plugin or what. Well, all of it is gonna be available, but I think I'm not gonna publish binaries right now because I would have to set up GitHub CI, which I have a template for, but I don't know. It always takes a while to mess with that, so for now it's just gonna have to be something to build from source. So this is a collection of distortion algorithms in a VSD3 and our Clep plugin. Mostly made to explore NIH-plug, I guess. That's a reasonable sentence. The process mainly can't wait until I'm in the States. I always want to try my brain learning for my desktop. I'm not sure which part of that was supposed to be for my desktop, but I think I get the idea. Yeah, I mean, the recording is gonna be on YouTube if you missed the start of the stream. And the code is gonna be on GitHub. This is gonna have a URL which I should be able to grab already. Maybe. Maybe not. There it is. Algorithms included are hardclip, superdirt shape, and this shall be a link to superdirt. I guess here we can link to, what is it called again? This file. Or maybe the folder is fine. And that's the build command. And I think this is fine for the README for now. Oh, learning coding. Always wanted to try that, I guess. Yeah. Coding is a lot of fun, if you ask me. And I've been thinking about coding in the context of music making lately. I mean, I've been doing it for a while, but have ideas for plugins, just haven't tried learning anything since C#. Right, yeah. Well, I feel like NIH plug is a reasonably friendly environment to learn that, but I mean, learning Rust is also kind of a whole thing in itself, so I don't know. I do wonder if there is any kind of VST or CLAP plugin framework for C#. For C++, there is, of course, Juice, and iPlug2, I think, is C++ as well. And like C++ is closer to C# than Rust is, but it's still different enough that I'm not sure if it's really gonna be any easier. Also, C++ is just really hard in general. I work with C++ and very often I'm banging my head against the wall with it. With like the massive error messages that you get if you're using anything with templates and... Yeah, that's what I'm doing tomorrow. Anyway. Yeah, I said this thing about thinking more about coding in the context of music production, because I've been scrolling on TikTok every now and then, as one does, and getting a lot of, shall we say, synth-fluencer content, which is synth influencer, so people making videos about the latest and greatest plugins and hardware synths and effects and whatnot, and yeah, I don't know. Of course, it's great that we have so many options of things we can purchase to make music with, but I had this phase where I was like really into DAW-less music making. You can find my album Immediacy on Bandcamp, where it was all like DAW-less jams with various hardware devices that I bought. And I mean, that's fun. And there is this whole idea that limitations breed creativity, which is one of like the motivating factors of going DAW-less and working with hardware interfaces that have more well-defined tasks. However, is it really true, I wonder? Because so many people that I see going DAW-less end up buying a lot of new synths and effects all the time. And it just makes me wonder, like, are you really being inspired by the limitations that you have, or are you running into those limitations and finding that you need to buy something new. And are you really making the most of what you have? And that, I guess, is really, like, for me, the big motivation to get into live coding, music, and now also, like, coding my own plugins. Because a computer is like... it's definitely not a limited instrument, it's like the least limited thing there is, probably. And I just somehow gained this obsession of making the most of what I have, which is the computer, because, I mean, I'm gonna be working with computers always, even if I go DAWless, like, for recording and doing some mastering, and if nothing else, then posting those videos and tunes that I make. So yeah, I kinda reverted back from DAWless to this computer maximalism, if you want to call it that, doing everything in the box and really making the most of the computer. And that's how I ended up here. I don't know. That's just some random thoughts about the electronic music making social media scene. Right, but I was gonna publish this README, or actually the whole GitHub repo. So let's commit the readme.md, and then we need to go on GitHub. I should do this in my other windows. Exactly, I use iPad for music production and happen to find a workflow within AUM to route samplers and synths as I did when I had hardware. I'm not sure what AUM is. Is it like a iPad DAW or something? But yeah, iPads are interesting because, or like tablets in general, I guess. Touchscreen devices, because, well, it's not exactly a tactile interface, but it still feels quite different than operating a computer, and you do get multi-touch, which is nice. And it's still very flexible. I have an iPad as well, but it's an iPad mini that is very old and doesn't get updates anymore, so I don't know if it can even run any modern iOS music software. I kind of ended up not using it very much, but I should think about maybe using it as a TouchOS controller or something. Although I do that already with my phone. Except when my phone is taken for, like, live show notes, which I do as well. And of course when I'm streaming, I have this whole streaming control interface on here. Yeah. Tangents are fun. So this was called Blue Grit. And I'm just gonna copy paste the description from my README. It's gonna be public, no templates, create repository. Okay, then I need to add a remote called GitHub. password. Just a second. And we should be able to push, which also requires a password. It's a digital mixer / MIDI router, but paired with a few apps I can route synths and samplers. MIDI for a DAW-less-like setup. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure if I remember correctly, but I think on iPad you also get like plugins, right? Audio units. So I guess you can do some kind of more modular setups with that as well. Okay, well, this is now live on my GitHub. So let's zoom into the URL here so you can see it. GitHub/ahihi/pulu-grit. And I'll put it in the YouTube description afterwards as well. Right. I think that is gonna be pretty much it for this stream. It is 3 AM and I do need to get to sleep. I have work in not quite the morning, but in the a bit before noon. In Finnish we call it aamupäivä, the morning day. I don't know if there's an expression for that in English. But anyway, have you coded any audio units? No, I have not. I believe the Choose framework maybe can do that as well. I'm just gonna check that. Yeah. So if you're interested in audio units, then Choose with C++ might be the way to go after all. I'm sure that could be implemented for an IH plug as well, but it's just nobody has done it at this point in time. But yeah, I mean, Choose is also pretty cool. It's a bit more complicated, I find, in terms of like the project structure and everything than an IH plug, but it's manageable and there's a fairly big community around it, so you can get help easily. And I don't know if it's still the case, but they used to also have like a graphical interface builder, but I feel like they might have deprecated that in favor of code-based interfaces. I'm not sure, it's been a while since I used this. But still, doing a graphical interface might be easier with Choose than with NIH plug. I didn't get to GUI at all today, so the only interface my plugin has is this default one rendered by the DAW. But I would like to check that as well, because I know there's some examples of GUIs in NIH plug as well. And then the other big one is iPlug2. I think this one can do audio units as well, yeah. But I haven't really used it, so I don't know like how it compares to Juice, but it's there. Alright, that's gonna be it. Thank you so much for tuning into the stream tonight. It was nice to get back into this after a long break. I might do more streams this week and maybe next week because my partner is traveling right now, so I have the living room to myself every day. So I have lots of live stream ideas, but I don't know what would be like the next one to do. One thing that I maybe want to do is, because if you follow me on the platforms like YouTube or TikTok or Mastodon or Blue Sky, you might know that I did this Looptober thing, which is where every day of October you make a short piece of music and post it. And I did that, but with the additional challenge that every day I used a different tool. And in the process I ended up exploring a bunch of old music software for macOS 9. Sorry, I had to cough a bit. Yeah, old music software for macOS 9, and a number of those are very nice, and I would like to do more in-depth streams about those. So yeah, that's maybe one future stream, just exploring macOS 9 music software. There's ones like Player Pro, which is a tracker that was used by Aphex Twin at some point. There's Out of Phase, which is a super interesting self-contained thing where you can load samples or you can program synthesizers. It's not a real-time programming like SuperCollider, but it lets you write code to, I think, define wavetables, and then you can work with those in synthesizers, and it's really interesting. I didn't get very far into it because I just had a few hours in that one day, but I would really like to check that out further and like actually learn how to program it. And then there is something called CellSynth, which you have like a two-dimensional little grid in it, and each of the grid cells you can place a module in it, and then it like can feed into neighboring cells, and I guess it's a little bit like something like Pure Data, but not quite as flexible. But that's again one thing where I find that limitations can be really interesting, because you have a fixed size grid and therefore a fixed number of modules that you can place in there, and you have to think about the geometry because they can only connect to their neighbors. And so yeah, it's really interesting. I think the problem with that is that it was a paid piece of software, and I only have the demo. I did email the author of the software, and they sent me actually a license key, which was very nice. I mean, you can't buy it anymore because it's long obsolete. But unfortunately, the license key didn't really work, so I've asked them about that, but at the moment I don't have a functioning full version of it. But yeah, go check out that playlist if you haven't seen it. There's some fun stuff in there. It's the Looptober playlist on my YouTube. Discord channel, question mark. I don't have a Discord channel. I have been asked about that before, but I don't know. I'm in too many Discord channels as it is, and I don't know if I want to deal with moderating a community, but I will think about it. But you can find all my social medias on pulusound.fi, and I have here Bandcamp, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, SoundCloud, Mastodon, Blue Sky, and GitHub and ShaderTie. So if you use any of those, feel free to give me a follow. And I will think about the Discord thing. But yes, that's it. Good night. Have a good rest of the day in whatever time zone you are in. And I will see you on a future stream. Bye bye.